Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Thank you very much for being an ardent supporter of this great channel. We do this each and every day just because of your support. Today, an exclusive report from the house on top of the hill is that government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has been removed from official communication channels that are managed from Statehouse just days after the Catholics' backlash. Now, this story has been shared out by the Kenyan news that exclusively reporting this story.
Meanwhile, the purge by President William Ruto is set to be targeting more allies of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, both in Parliament and also those in government. Reports have emerged that the government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura is also a man under watch. Isaac Mwaura is said to be on the radar of the president's men over several issues with claims of association with the former DP. KTN senior political affairs reporter Daniel Kariuki now reports.
Reports of the removal of government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura from Statehouse WhatsApp group used for communications and other state issues have left tongues wagging over possible removal of Mwaura. KTN News has learned that there has been strained relations between Mwaura's office and other communication teams, reportedly escalating into a supremacy battle. Insiders reveal that the fallout stems partly from how the government responded to recent criticism by Catholic bishops. Mwaura has been accused of failing to issue a unified statement on behalf of the government, instead allowing individual ministries and agencies to respond separately. President William Ruto would later vow to address concerns raised by the Catholic bishops.
Na juzi nilipata salamu kutoka maaskofu wetu ya barua, na niwahakikishia hawa maaskofu wetu vile wametusahihisha kwamba kuna makosa hapa na pale, hiyo makosa tutarekebisha.
Efforts to reach Mwaura have hit a dead end as our calls went unanswered and messages not replied to. This comes amidst a purge that aimed to remove those associated with former Deputy Rigathi Gachagua from their powerful positions. Mwaura has been on the receiving end on several occasions over his remarks on various issues that have raised concerns. He has been accused of issuing statements that defend the government and not a true picture of the happenings. Will Mwaura survive the imminent purge?
Now, if there is one man sometimes I normally feel a bit reserved to defend, is Isaac Mwaura. And it's so difficult to maybe support him, because if you look at the way when Mwaura was nominated by Jubilee Party and was nominated a member of Parliament, if there is a politician that really misbehaved when Uhuru had a fallout with William Ruto, is Isaac Mwaura. I remember the time he went and attended a rally in Msambweni during the Msambweni by-elections and insulted Uhuru Kenyatta. And of course, consequently, as he went to vie for that position, that MP seat in Ruiru, he lost to Simon Kihara, someone there, also on UDA. And then he was appointed later to be government spokesperson. And during his tenure as a government spokesperson, I think that office lacked the acumen of Kina Eric Kiraithe, the then government spokesperson, the days of Alfred Mutua. Of course, Alfred Mutua tenure was full of PR. It really lacked, you could not feel, I've not felt the essence of that office, because it is also overstaffed. Government spokesperson have, I don't know how many deputies. And I've always been feeling that in the communication docket under the Kenya Kwanza administration, it is an area that is also overstaffed. You have spokesperson, State House spokesperson. You have President Ruto spokesperson. then you have government spokesperson. You know, there's so many communication, and sometimes when government fails in communication, well, they have really overinvested in that department. It really wonders, it really worries. But then in this podcast, the Isaac Mwaura removal means he's facing exit, or he's facing a sack. But that sack is linked to the fact that he's an ally of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. So in this podcast, I want us to look at how that purge on Rigathi allies is cascading even down from the Statehouse personnel to Parliament to principal secretaries. And then from that end, we will explain why I feel the move of removing people, realigning on broad-based government and removing people who you believe to be around Rigathi, to be Rigathi sympathizers, is a catastrophic move. But before that, let me ask you to subscribe to our channel. We are running that mission of hitting 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. As I talk to you, we have 93,300 subscribers. So that means we lack 6,700 subscribers to hit 100,000. So just subscribe. You click the red button down there. The subscription, to subscribe, it costs nothing. Sometimes to say subscribe to atakatwa pesa. No, it costs nothing. So long as when the time you're watching this video, you get to the channel, and then your desktop, your laptop, your phone or TV, you're already logged in to an email. So that email address is also secure. On our end, we cannot be able to secure, we cannot be able to even to retrieve or get your email address. And just a subscription is free. The advantage is when we publish any video, you will not be able to miss because you'll be getting subscriptions. I know some are asking, Kevin, nowadays I don't get your subscriptions. I don't get notifications. You don't get notification because maybe you rarely watch. But to come on a watch like daily or more frequently, you'll be getting those notifications. Now, it is not only Mwaura. Go with me to Nation. I think I have the article here. I don't know the story. Yes, deliver the state of address. Let me see. Okay, Ruto reads riot. Yeah, it's not in the paper, but it is here. There is a story that is explaining how that purge is continuing in Parliament. In the Parliament, Molo, Member of Parliament Kimani Kuria, is been the President Ruto himself wants Kimani Kuria to replace Ndindi Nyoro as the chairman of the powerful Budget and Appropriation Committee in sweeping National Assembly midterm committee leadership changes the nation has learned. So Kimani Kuria is supposed to replace Ndindi Nyoro. And I think, yes, what they're saying, if William Ruto was doubting the stand by Ndindi Nyoro, then he seemed to have got it this way. Yes, Ndindi Nyoro kept off Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, and his position was, the allies, actually Betty Maina said that Ndindi Nyoro declined to take over that position from Gachagua, which was initial William Ruto's plan, and Ndindi Nyoro declined, and he is actually supporting Rigathi. He was against that impeachment, and that is why throughout that process, he was out. He didn't even go to Parliament. He has never contributed. But then recently, he also, a man who has been defending government, he came out and made this statement telling the president that if the economy is doing well, it cannot be in the boardrooms and the meetings. It is Mwananchi that are supposed to feel that economy is doing well. This statement here.
That I should not be coming here as budget chair to convince Kenyans how the economy is growing. It is the Kenyan people who should be telling me the economy is growing. And therefore that calls upon us, all of us in this hall, that all the policies that we make must advance an egalitarian society, must promote equality and equity, so that even as the economy grows, it should not be growing in such a forum it should be growing in the pockets of the Kenyan people. And I think that is a component of making sure our resources are well distributed.
This did not go well with the Statehouse team, who felt that what Ndindi Nyoro was saying was actually against what should be his position, that he should go out, just all out and defend the government. That change, that purge, is supposed to affect 13 other MPs serving in influential committee positions, who are viewed as sympathetic to Mr. Gachagua, who was ousted last month and replaced with Professor Kithure Kindiki, with reports that the changes will see some of the ODM MPs co-opted to the committee leadership positions, the Finance and National Planning Committee, which is currently being led by Mr. Kimani. In fact, this committee of Finance and National Planning is supposed to be given to ODM, or rather to the other side of the other broad-based partner, which is ODM, and so they will be more visible to represent, or rather to defend, the government. And this is a move that one thing that is very key here is I want us to look into the MPs that are going to be other MPs that are going to be affected. William Ruto says that Kimani Kuria, personal interest. It is personal interest of President Ruto, just looking at how he defended government and how he was out ready to bite the bullet for the administration, defending finance bill, even though it really cost him more challenges. The Budget Committee plays a critical role in approving budgetary allocations to various government ministries, MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies. Other than Nyoro, other committee chairs, I want us to look at that list, who are targeted in the looming purge include Githunguri, Member of Parliament, Gathoni Wamuchomba, who is in the Constitutional Implementation and Oversight Committee. She has been consistent in calling out President Ruto administration. Ndia, Member of Parliament, George Karaoke, Transport and Infrastructure. This Ndia Member of Parliament now recently attended at the church service that was that Kindiki was holding in Kirinyaga. So it was believed that part of it. Embakasi North, James Gakuya, who is in charge of trade, industry and cooperatives, is going to face the exit. Emurua Dekir Johanna Ngeno, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works. Mwaura MP Vincent Musyoka, Energy. Kipiripiri MP Wanjiku Muhia, Regional Integration. Kitui East MP, that is Nimrod Bai, Public Petitions. And Mwaura MP Karaoke Mbiuki, Tourism and Wildlife, are also targeted. And there is some allegations against some ministries here. Number one is the Housing, Urban Development and Public Works, Emurua Dekir Johanna Ngeno. Now this is where the housing levy and the affordable housing is. They have also been accused of not coming out publicly to defend some of these projects. Apart from that, there is that ministry of Mwaura MP, there is that department by Mwaura MP Vincent Musyoka, Energy. This is the department that was had been called to issue press statements so that they can defend Adani deals, because Adani deal had a deal that was struck between Adani and the Ministry of Energy on power distribution. And there is this one for Ndia MP George Karaoke, Transport Infrastructure. Transport and Infrastructure was also supposed to come out and defend Adani takeover of JKIA, but they were a bit quiet on this ministry. They were actually quiet on this. Now, Kareke Mbiuki, Mwaura MP, is in tourism and wildlife. Now, during Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, remember that claim of buying a hotel, leasing an hotel from Kenya Wildlife Service in Aberdare Ranges, in Aberdare. That story, the team that was supposed to execute it in Parliament was Mwaura Kareke Mbiuki, and allegedly he declined. So if you want to know, it is a cowardice move, and I think the president should be, of course, Parliament should be more wary about this. It is a tradition, as usually, for such changes are normally deliberated on and a binding resolution reached during a parliamentary group meeting to inform debate and voting in the House. Remember, it will be subject to some voting and debate. So what is supposed to happen is a PG supposed to be called so that they discuss. Remember when Uhuru Kenyatta wanted even to remove Adan Duale as the majority leader? Whatever Ruto is effecting here, Uhuru did. But he had to call PG. And at that time, Ruto Axis were actually complaining that Uhuru only calls PG when he wants to remove. So they wanted to remove Duale, Murkomen, and Kindiki. He had to call a PG, a Jubilee Party PG, to effect those changes. And it really happened. Now, William Ruto is allegedly just having, midwifing this covert scheme with the majority leadership in the House and minority. And that is Kimani Chungwa and actually minority leader Junet Mohammed, which is something that MPs really feel it is part of the takeover of the government. Remember, of the parliament. Remember, the public principal secretary's advertisements have also been put today. There's a Gazette notice, and this is part of the plan to reshuffle the PSS. Much of it is supposed to mirror what they're saying. Now, other high-profile figures that have also faced chopping board are Tana River Waterworks Development Agency Chairman James Kanyanga Gathaga and former Madeira Member of Parliament Peter Weru, who is the chairman of Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization. The axe fell on them during a Gazette notice by the president. Now, Mr. Gathaka, a former Nyeri town mayor, was replaced by Nyeri businessman Makundi Wambugu from Oduor sub-county, while Mr. Weru was replaced by Nyeri businessman Duo Madhainge. So you can see how, and those that have been removed are actually Rigathi Gachagua allies. We understand very well that this move is supposed to align with the broad-based administration. There are two things that are trigger, aligning with broad-based administration, and the second issue is kicking out Rigathi Gachagua allies from very influential seats, both in parliament and outside, or rather in government. So that move, according to me, is dangerous. As much as it seeks to achieve some political, some cheap political bonga points. Having listened to the president yesterday trying to whip the principal secretaries and the cabinet members to deliver for the people of Kenya. Now, these are some of the things that are underlying issues that are going to paralyze the government to some end. When changes are effected by vendetta and not merit, that's where we get it wrong. Because even from the word go when the cabinet was picked, we really complained and raised these issues to the president that some of the changes, some of the cabinet picks were just picked on friendship, on the fact that we campaigned together. Now we are changing based on so-and-so is with Rigathi. And to that end, probably I'm not seeing meritocracy going to take center stage. Why do I feel this is a big mistake? Because the move is going to bolster the UDA rebel movement. Those who are going to be removed in these positions, remember, they also have a constituency outside parliament. They have a voting constituency outside parliament, and William Ruto needs that constituency. And you can, if you listen around, you will hear people saying that those who campaigned for Kenya Kwanza are not benefiting from it, and people who did not even make the government are the ones in it. Now that narrative is sinking. So if you remove Kinandindi Nyoro, they will carry that narrative to the ground. So it would propel, it would actually bolster the remote movement against the administration. Number two, there will be more leakage of many secrets to expose government. The people that are going out will go with the top secrets. So what's something that President Ruto doesn't really like? People who expose, expose what's happening in government to the public, because he knows that media is really looking for those stories. So there will be more exposure. Number 3, insecurity of tenure creates some looting culture. When I am in an office and I know that I can be sacked anytime based on what the president thinks and feels, on who I relate with, then it creates a culture that I'm just here for the season. I'm just here for now. And with that, the key performance indicators, KPIs, that probably we put on some state offices might not really be the center, might not really be a priority for them. And people will actually trash those KPIs and just work to find how much we can do it. And that is why the circle of the corruption, ending corruption, is still going to be a pipe dream. The broad-based government is probably some of these changes are supposed to mirror broad-based administration. But that broad-based administration, it has some unique, there is a unique feature that those who are fronting it are trying to tell Wanjiku that it's a government of unity. But if it's a government unity and some people are being removed, then it's a bit isolative. And in fact, I think the team can maneuver their way, they can try to navigate their way around it. But they not get away the fact that there are people that were brought in government through Rigathi Gachagua. So if Rigathi Gachagua is out and you're chasing away these people, that aspect of unity and broad-based might not really come out. And remember, it can be, yes, you must remove, it's not a must, you can remove Rigathi allies and still bring people that come from those areas. But it's always about who is aggrieved and who is eating. If that person who was eating is no longer eating, he will actually come out and run a narrative against the administration. So I believe that as much as they are making moves, the president must be so keen that the changes doesn't come out as an isolative card, and they should also not be led by personal vendetta. And probably at the center of everything, if you want to deliver for the people, meritocracy should be the key factor in terms when the hiring authority is thinking of hiring or changing positions. Thank you.